Chapter 23. These are the last words of David, son of Jesse. David was the man whom God made important, whom the God of Jacob chose to be king, and who composed the beautiful songs of Israel. David said, "The Spirit of the Lord speaks through me, and his message is on my lips. The God of Israel has spoken. The protector of Israel has said to me, the king who rules with justice. Who rules respecting the will of God is like the sunrise on a morning without clouds, like the sun that makes the grass shine after the rain. It is like this that God will bless my descendants, for he made an eternal covenant with me, a covenant sure and secure. That is all I desire. This will be my victory. And I know that God will do it. But the pagans are like thorns thrown away. No one dares to pick them up with the hands. For that one needs an iron tool or a wooden handle. They will all be completely burned in the fire. These are the names of the famous soldiers of David: Joshua-Basebeth, Tachmonite, who was the leader of the group called the Three. With his spear, he fought against 800 men and killed them all in one battle. Eleazar, son of Dodo and grandson of Ahohi, was one of the famous Three. Once he and David challenged the Philistines who had gathered for battle. The Israelites retreated. But Eleazar stood and fought against the Philistines until he had such a cramp in his hand that he could not release the sword. The Lord God won a great victory that day. After the battle was over, the Israelites returned to the place where Eleazar was to strip the armor of the dead. Next came Shammah, son of Agi, the Hurite. The Philistines gathered at Lehi, where there was a field full of lentils. The Israelites fled before the Philistines, but Shammah stood in the field, defended it, and struck down the Philistines. That day the Lord won a great victory. At the beginning of harvest time, 3 from the group called the 30 went down to the cave of Adullam, where David was, while a band of Philistines was camped in the valley of the giants. At that time, David was in the fortress, and a garrison of Philistines was in the city of Bethlehem. Then David longed and said, "Oh, how I wish someone would bring me a little water from the well that is by the gate of Bethlehem." Then the 3 famous soldiers broke through the camp of the Philistines, drew water from the well, and brought it to David. But he would not drink that water. Instead, he poured it out as an offering to the Lord. And he said, "O Lord God, I could never drink this water. That would be the same as drinking the blood of these men who risked their lives to bring it." And so he did not drink that water. These were the things the famous 3 did. Abishai, brother of Joab, their mother was Zeruiah, was the leader of the famous 30. With his spear, he fought against 300 men and killed them, becoming famous among the 30. Abishai was the most famous of the 30 and became their leader, but he was not as famous as the 3. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada from Kabzeel, was a famous soldier and performed many acts of courage. He killed 2 great Moabite warriors. On a snowy day, he went down into a pit and killed a lion. He also killed an Egyptian, a huge man who was armed with a spear. Benaiah attacked the Egyptian with his staff, snatched the spear from his hand, and killed him with it. These were the things Benaiah did. Odd. He had a place of honor among the 30, but he was not as famous as the 3. David put him in charge of his personal guard. Among the 30 were Asahel, brother of Joab, Elhanan, son of Dodo, of Bethlehem, Shammah, and Elika of Arawah, Helez of Pelet, Ira, son of Ikish, of Tekoa, Abiezer, of Anathoth, Mebani, of Husha, Zaman, the Ahohite, Maharai, the Netophathite, Held, son of Bana, of Netapha, Athai, son of Rabai, of Gibeah, in the territory of Benjamin, Benaiah, of Pirathon, Dai, of the ravines of Gush, Abialban of Arabah, Asmaveth, of Bahurim, Eliabah, of Shalben, the sons of Jashon, Jonathan, Shammah, the Hurite, Dahiam, son of Sharar, Liphaleh, son of Iasbai, of Mesech, Liam, son of Ahithophel, of Jilo, Hezro, of Carmel, Parai, of Araboth, Eagle, son of Nathan, of Zobah, Boni, the Gadat, Zelek, the Ammonite, Naharai, of Beeroth, the armor-bearer of Joab, son of Zeruiah, Ira, and Gareb, of Jatir, and Uriah the Hittite. There were 37 famous soldiers in all. Chapter 24. On another occasion, the Lord became very angry with the people of Israel and led David to harm them. God said to David, "Go, and take the count of the people of Israel and of Judah." Then David gave Joab, commander of his army, the following order: "Go with your officers through all the tribes of Israel, from the north to the south of the country, and take the count of the people. I want to know how many we are." But Joab answered the king, "May the Lord our God make the people of Israel 100 times more numerous than they are now. And may the Lord let you live to see it happen. But why does my lord want to take this count?" However, the king made Joab and his officers obey his order, and they left the presence of David and went out to count the people of Israel. They crossed the Jordan River and camped south of Aroer, the city in the valley, in the territory of Gad. From there they went north to the city of Jazer. They continued to Gilead and reached Kadesh, land of the Hittites. Then they went to Dan and Dedan, turned west to Sidon. After that, they went south to the city of Tyre, which was surrounded by walls. And from there, they went to all the cities of the Hivites and the Canaanites, and finally to Beersheba in the southern part of Judah. And so, after 9 months and 20 days, they returned to Jerusalem, having traveled through the whole land. And they reported to the king that the total number of men fit for military service was as follows: 800,000 in Israel and 500,000 in Judah. But after David had taken the count, his conscience began to trouble him. He said, "O Lord God, I have committed a terrible sin by ordering the count of the people. Please forgive me. What I did was madness." Then the Lord said to the prophet Gad, David's seer, "Go and tell David that I give him the right to choose one of 3 things. Whatever he chooses, I will do." The next morning, after David had risen, Gad went to speak with him. He had told what God had said and asked, "What does my lord prefer? 3 years of famine in your land? 3 months fleeing from your enemies? Or 3 days of plague in your land? Decide now and tell me what answer I must give to God. I am in great distress. I do not want to fall into the hands of men. Let it be the Lord God who punishes us, for he has mercy on us." Then the Lord sent a plague upon the people of Israel. At the time he had set, from the north to the south of the country, 70,000 Israelites died. When the angel of the Lord was about to destroy Jerusalem, the Lord relented from the disaster and said to the angel who was killing, "Stop, it is enough." The angel of the Lord was near the threshing floor of Araunah, the Jebusite. David saw the angel who was killing the people and said to the Lord, "Ah, I alone am guilty. It was I who sinned. What has this poor people done? It is I and my family who should be punished by you." That same day Gad went and said to David, "Go up to the threshing floor of Araunah, and build there an altar to the Lord." David obeyed the command of the Lord and went as Gad had told him. Araunah looked down and saw the king and his officers coming toward him. Then he knelt and put his face to the ground before David and asked, "My lord, why have you come here?" "I came to buy this threshing floor and build on it an altar to the Lord so that the plague may cease." "My lord, take everything you want and offer it to God. Here are the oxen to be burned as an offering on the altar, and here are their yokes, and also the threshing boards to be used as firewood." Araunah gave all this to the king and said, "May the Lord your God accept your offering." "No, thank you. I will pay for all this. I will not offer to the Lord my God sacrifices that cost me nothing." So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. He built there an altar to the Lord and presented burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. The Lord answered his prayer, and the plague ended in Israel.